Hey y'all, Lana's mom here. We are on day 19 and 20 of finding ways to honor my late daughter, Miss Alana Michelle. And today you guys are in for a very, very special treat. So I was invited out by one of my very, very special friends that I had the opportunity of meeting at Children's Hospital. But y'all, short backstory. Without getting into too much, we met on behalf of our children's fathers, in whom were at some point friends. But unfortunately, they also had an extensive stay at Children's Hospital, which is where Caitlin and I were introduced. And we've stayed connected ever since. So this beautiful woman invited me out to poetry night, cowboy poetry night at Eastwood, where poetry became an outlet for her. And although this is her second time and my first time, it was a true honor to be able to share this experience with her. Now, before we get into my poem, I need you guys to desperately listen to this country song that I fell in love with for the first time. It has some humor in it, but you know, a lot of humor has a lot of truth in it as well.
Give them a safe space that they seek, and make sure that they feel heard and seen. Patience is a virtue, so I'm told. The Bible teaches us that in Job, but a broken record on repeat is gonna make me say something ugly. That's between yourself and Jesus. Don't give me none of them reasons. You shuffled the cards and you dealt. Hey, might be time to pay for some help. Okay. That's between you and Jesus and yourself.
I love it.
Forgive me if I find it kind of funny. It never seems to be your fault, honey. Like when your dog got into my hands. Well, you thought they bit him. Patience is a virtue, so I'm told. The Bible teaches us that in Job, but I've washed my hands, thrown in the towel. That shit's threadbare and unraveled. That's between yourself and Jesus. Don't give me none of them reasons. You shuffled the cards and you dealt. Hey, might be time to pay for some help. That's between you and Jesus and yourself. I led your ass to water. I tried to make you drink, but you can't fix stupid, cause stupid don't think. Hey, I led your ass to water. I tried to make you drink, but you can't fix stupid, cause stupid don't think. That's between yourself and Jesus. Don't give me none of them reasons. You shuffled the cards and you dealt. Hey, might be time to pay for some help. But that's between you and Jesus and yourself.
All right now.
That's between you and Jesus and yourself.
Okay. It's a hit.
Maybe a licensed professional, or your pastor, or your mama. Hell, you can call my mama. Just as long as you're calling.
I'm not gonna hold you, it's a hit. You know, when you're giving the advice, you have the conversation, prayed about it with them, and somehow they still come back with the same problem? Because the message in that song is what stuck out to me. And at some point, it's no longer advice. It's like beating a dead horse. That song captured that, girl, what do you want me to tell you? Feeling perfectly. Anyways, here's my segment, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'm a real life stallion, by the way, so you know she had to adjust that mic. Nah, but for real, Alana, this is in honor of you. Ooh, doggy.
This is my first time. I'm just gonna get into it. My poem is called Dear Me. Dear me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you tried so desperately to fix others when your hands were shaking. I'm sorry that I didn't give you enough time to heal, that I let you seal the wounds of everyone else's while you were bleeding your own. I'm sorry that there were days while smiling hurt and you forced yourself to laugh enough so no one can have to worry about you. I'm sorry that you gave your all the time, and the effort to people who didn't give you the same amount back. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. Thank you. I'm sorry that there were nights when you cried yourself to sleep and no one bothered to understand why. I'm sorry that I didn't love you back like you deserved to be loved. I'm sorry I made you believe that you needed was the same as being loved. I'm sorry I taught you to measure your worth by how much you can carry, how much you can sacrifice, and how much pain you can endure without complaining. I'm sorry for every time you blamed yourself for someone else's inability to love you properly. I'm sorry for every door you begged to stay open when God was already trying to close it. I'm sorry for every time you abandoned yourself just to keep someone else from abandoning you. But most of all, I'm sorry for the way I expected you to be okay after losing your daughter. As if your heart was supposed to understand how to keep beating when the biggest piece of you is gone. I'm sorry for the days I expected you to get out of bed, when getting out of bed meant facing a world where Alana no longer existed in the way you so desperately wanted her to. I'm sorry for the nights you searched for her in your dreams, only to wake up and have to lose her all over again. I'm sorry for every birthday, every holiday, every milestone, every song, and every little thing that reminded you of that person you wanted to share wasn't with her. I'm sorry for the moments you smiled and then felt guilty for smiling. I'm sorry for the moments you laughed and wondered if you were allowed to laugh again. I'm sorry for every time you questioned God, for every why, for every how, for every moment you wondered how you were supposed to carry a grief that is heavy and still somehow keep living. You weren't supposed to be okay. You were supposed to grieve. You were supposed to fall apart. You were supposed to miss her, and you were supposed to cry. You were supposed to have days where all you could do was breathe, because losing Alana wasn't just losing your daughter. It was losing a future you had already imagined. It was losing birthdays you were supposed to celebrate, conversations you were supposed to have, and memories you were supposed to make. It was learning how to love someone who was no longer physically here. And somehow you kept loving her. You still do. And maybe that's why you're still here. Because love didn't end when her life did. It just changed its address. Now it lives in your memories, in your tears, in your testimony, in every family you help, in every heart you touch, in every dream you build in her name, in every person who hears her story and realizes they aren't alone. So dear me, look at you. After everything that tried to break you, you're still here. You survived the nights you thought would swallow you whole, You survived the people you thought you couldn't live without. You survived the heartbreak. And sometimes you are learning how to just survive. Not because it got easier, but because you learned that surviving doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean moving on. It means learning how to carry love and loss in the same heart. Thank you.
Can we get a drum roll somehow? Oh, before the drum roll, can we do a round of applause for everybody here tonight?
And just like that, to my very own surprise, here I am, sitting in the midst of a crowd as we participated in a drum roll and supported everyone who had the courage to share not just their poems, but their unspoken pain and raw experiences.
Can I get Verna to the stage? Can I get Dee to the stage?
Yeah, exactly. Wait, what? Because I'm sitting here thinking this was so unexpected. And I promise you, I did not come with the expectation of winning. Hell, I didn't even come with the expectation of sharing my poem. But before attending, I was texting Caitlin, telling her how nervous I was because I have never done anything like this before. And like the great friend she is, she didn't put any pressure on me. She simply told me, come scope out the scenery and make your decision once you get there. So that's exactly what I did. And if I'm being honest, as people started to walk in, taking their seats, grabbing the microphone, and preparing to share the pieces of themselves, I started to have a change of heart because public speaking has never really been my thing. I get nervous, I stumble over my words, and sometimes I get choked up that I can't even get the sentence out the way I rehearsed it in my head. And I couldn't quite explain the nervousness I was feeling in my belly, but then I realized maybe I could because that nervousness feeling felt strangely familiar. It reminded me of the feeling I used to get when the hospital would call to tell me to hurry back. The feeling where your stomach drops, your heart starts racing, and suddenly every worst case scenario begins running through your mind. The feeling of not knowing what you're walking into, not knowing if your child is going to make it, not knowing if that phone call is going to change your life forever. And for a moment, I realized that maybe this nervousness wasn't about being afraid to speak. Maybe it was about being afraid to be vulnerable. Because there's a difference between standing in front of people and talking, and standing in front of people and allowing them to see you. And that night, I had decided that I was willing to be seen. So eventually, I stopped thinking about whether I was going to sound perfect. I stopped worrying about whether my voice would shake. I stopped worrying about whether I would cry. And I reminded myself that I've already survived moments where my entire world was shaking. I already had conversations that I never thought I'd be strong enough to have. I already stood in the hospital rooms, prayed through uncertainty, and watched my daughter fight battles that no child should ever have to fight. So what was a microphone compared to that? And somehow in that moment, I found the courage to stand up, not because I wasn't nervous, but because I think that's what made it so meaningful.
Anyway, the main causes of crime are poverty and mental health issues. We need to be funding mental health treatment. We need to have universal health care. That's what's causing crime in Los Angeles County. Also, fuck 12. The LAPD are not your friends. They are racist slave catchers. They are fucking monsters. Fuck 12. Fuck the LAPD. Fuck the sheriffs. You want to know what the biggest gang is in LA County? The sheriffs.
And to be honest, I was raised to fear and not trust the police, so I understand the anger. The system has failed us more times than I could count, and accountability does matter. So yeah, I said fuck them too, but not all of them. Just the ones that abuse their power. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, God still loves them too, even when we don't trust him. And clearly, His grace has a much better HR department than the LA County. Or any other county for that matter, because it's not just taking place in LA, it's taking place all over the world. So rest in peace to Nolan Wells, and may he receive the justice that he deserves, as well as any black man, black woman, or black child, or any family that still may be seeking justice or answers. Anyways, judge me if you want to. I learned how to line dance for the very first time, and it was nothing like the hold down, throw down. I'm telling you. I was just waiting for them to put on that Hannah Montana. That boom, boom, clap, the clap, boom, boom, clap. If you know, you know. But this was the perfect way to end the night, and I'm so excited that I decided to participate and not let fear consume me. Because one day, the world will hear my voice again, and it won't just be at a poetry night. It will be in front of a large crowd, touching the hearts of so many people all over the world. Because that's how big this assignment is. And I might not have the proof just yet, but God is preparing me for something bigger than I can even imagine. So I'm going to continue to allow God to use me as He prepares me, even in the midst of my grief. Oh, and before I go, I want to share with you a letter that I typed immediately after winning. And it reads, Dear Alana, because of you, I stepped out of my comfort zone and performed a poem in honor of you. And Mommy won. Although you are still my biggest loss, thank you for our story. I love you. Happy birthday. Forever my ticket to heaven. Sincerely, Alana's mom. P.S. Our story is still being written, and all glory goes to the King, Big G.O.D. Nothing less, and that's on 55th Street. So thank you guys for thugging it out with me on yet another episode of Finding Ways to Honor My Late Daughter, Miss Alana Michelle, and I will see you guys on the next one. Yeah.